I'm going to be breaking down how you can go viral on YouTube to absolutely blow up your coaching business. My 2 viral videos did more for me than any other video on my channel. They're the most powerful things that will boost your overall channel growth, your audience, the amount of leads that you get in. It's going to be one of the most powerful things that you can do, so you should always be trying to angle to get viral videos. I have gotten 2 viral videos that hit over 100K, so I'm going to be teaching you exactly how I did that in this video. So the first thing is, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find all the competitors within your niche, and you're going to look for this thing called outlier videos. If you're not familiar with YouTube, an outlier video basically means a video title, idea, and thumbnail that performed better than the rest. So it's all that packaged up, meaning that someone had a video that performed extraordinarily well. So it can be anywhere from really what you like, the best ones are going to be like 100x. So if there's an 100x, it means it did 100 times better than the average for that channel. And a pro tip is you're not going to want to look for the biggest channels in your space because they have a huge audience. So as even an outlier for them might be a good idea to try, what you really want is an outlier for a smaller channel, someone with 25K or less subscribers, and them having an outlier that has 100, 200K views is way more powerful. So that's what you're looking for, that you want to try and take and recreate. Now, what you're going to want to do, the second step is you're going to take that title. You can literally copy and paste the title if you want. I do that all the time. You need to kind of get rid of the mindset that you're stealing or that you're cheating or that it's copying. This is how the game is played. Get rid of that school mindset where you think that you need to be original, where you can't look at other people's papers. That's fucking the name of the game in business and in life, is literally just taking from other people. That's mentorship in its essence, is literally saying, what are you doing? How do I do the same thing, and copying what that person does. I'm showing you how you can do it for free. So you literally just take that title, and also you can make slight variations if you want. You can try doing a slight change and seeing how it performs, but you can also just take the title straight up. And then you're just going to put your own content in it. That's where you want to make it different. You don't want to copy what they were saying, because that's really not original to you and it's not going to build you a good audience. But taking the title doesn't matter. No one cares if you took the title. But you want to make the contents of the video original to you and your truth. I never watch any of those videos that I take the titles from. I just take the title because it performed well, and if it aligns with my niche and my channel, then I just make the video just like that. So that's how you can find the good ideas. And if you want to organize this whole thing, because it's crazy. If you want to try and find all the best outliers, you want to find the best ones that work for you, if you want to have an organized, systemized approach to YouTube so you can really treat it like a business, I built you guys a YouTube strategy board. This is what really allowed me to make my YouTube channel into a business versus just doing something and being spontaneous with it. This really is what allowed me to go viral in the long run. So I made that. It's completely for free for every single one of you. It's the first link in the description below. Now back to the next thing is the thumbnail, right? So it's title, idea. You already got those from the title itself. And then you got to get the thumbnail. So what you're going to want to do is look for people in the same niche. What are they doing? So for example, in my main channel's niche, I saw some people included pictures of girls in the thumbnail. So what did I do? I started including pictures of girls in the thumbnail, and it worked really well. So that is one thing that I did that allowed my CTR, my click rate, to go up through the roof, is including pictures of girls to get people to kind of know what it's about, capture attention, and get clicks, along with that title and thumbnail that I already got from someone else who I know has performed. So that's kind of the basis of formulating the videos. Now, this is all outlined in that YouTube strategy board. It takes you section by section on how to organize all this. But that's really the basis of where you're going to get videos that are going to do well, because I posted content without doing this strategy for 6 months, just literally sitting down saying, okay, it's time to record a YouTube video for today. What are we going to think about? Okay, let's talk about how discipline will get you more girls. And I would sit down and say, discipline will get you more girls. And that would be the title, and it wouldn't perform at all. Sometimes the video would do okay, but really it was a struggle to get traction. And if I did this from the start, who knows where I would be today. So this is what I wish I knew when I was first getting started out. This is how I would have organized and structured my YouTube battle plan to go viral and to get views and traction and top of funnel traction for my business. Now, the next thing is what you got to do is the hook. So the hook is the most important part of the video. The first 30 seconds is showing people that you're not clickbaiting them, what you're going to actually deliver on. There's so many different ways that you can structure your hook, but your hook is super important. That's what you should put the most intention into. A random clip at 60% through your video is not that important. The most important part is those first 30 seconds. That's really going to make or break the video. If you have a great hook, it's going to get your viewers engaged and wanting to watch the rest of the video. So one thing that I do is I like to repeat the title or some slight variation of it early on, and then kind of have some credibility. So maybe like a low to high story. So for example, let's say the video is, from my main channel, I just recorded a video saying it's 12 lessons from modern dating. So we'll just use this one. So I said, these are 12 lessons that I learned in the modern dating scene. And then I did a low to high story, being someone who was a shy, insecure kid who didn't have success with girls for the first 19 years of my life, then going on to have a ton of success for the last 4 years, playing the field, learning a ton of different lessons. These are my 12 most valuable ones. So what did I do there? The title is 12 Lessons I Learned for Modern Dating, something like that. I validated the title. I told them my credibility about how I went from no girls to having tons of success. And I told them I'm going to share them some valuable lessons. So that is how I run my hooks and my intros, to hook people in and get them interested in what I'm actually going to talk about, validating the title, making sure they didn't get clickbaited, and then going on to tell them those 12 lessons. So it's really important. You really want to make sure you give a lot of intention to your hooks. And now in terms of the retention, so the next thing that you want to do is retain people throughout the video. And what I learned to be best is having sort of a list. A YouTube coach that I worked with told me, he was like, a YouTube video is basically just a claim and then a list. And I was like, what do you mean by that? He was like, you're claiming you're going to tell them something. You're going to list all the reasons why, or explain all the different things or the lessons or whatever. And when I started to do that, it gave a lot of structure to my videos. See, when I, for the first 6 months, would just sit down, I usually, maybe there was like 3 things that I would say. I'd be like, oh yeah, these are 3 lessons. But besides that, I would usually just sit down and just start talking. It would just be me talking. So there was no structure, there was no retention, there was no new ideas. It was not hooking people in. Whereas now, I'll pretty much every single video have a set amount of bullet points that I'm going to talk about. So for example, my previous video I recorded yesterday, how to live like James Bond, I thought that was fucking awesome. And I said there's 6 pillars to it. So now people want to know, what are all the 6 pillars, right? So there's travel, there's fighting, there's confidence. It's all these different pillars, and then people are, oh, what's the next pillar? How can I apply that, right? That's kind of how you can work with retention. So I would recommend having a list of bullet points and making it clear there's 5 things I learned, or there's 12 lessons for modern dating that are extremely valuable. So they want to stick around for the whole video, instead of you just starting to spew some bullshit with no guidance or direction. This can also really help you in terms of your articulation. If you're not a good talker and you can't just kind of go off the cusp, you need to have some sort of structure to your video so that you can at least present yourself in the best possible way. And now that you know how to actually create the videos, here's the part about how you can go viral. So what you need to do is you need to constantly iterate based off what performs. So for example, you might get a video that gets, let's say, 3, 5, 10K views. That's a really good sign. You need to constantly be looking at what videos are performing better than the rest on your channel, and you need to try and make little iterations to them. So I got my first viral video, which was 3 years of Playboy advice in, I think, 17 minutes. That was my first one that hit 100K. And a month later, I thought of another variation of that, which was 11 lessons I learned as a Playboy. It was a slight variation. It wasn't exactly the same, but I was like, that sounds like a good thing. And what I took, from it was, in the 3 years video, Playboy was in capital. And then I did that for the 11 lessons. So I was like, it's very similar. 11 lessons, 3 years of kind of similar. Okay, let me do that spin-off. That was completely an idea that I thought of on my own, by the way. That was all my own credit. I didn't steal that from anyone, that second video. And that ended up going viral and hitting 110K views. And kind of another example for the 3 years of Playboy advice in X minutes, that was actually an outlier on someone else's channel, but it was 3 years of social skills advice in X minutes. So that's how you can make little changes. So you can either take the title directly if it applies to your channel, or you can make a slight change with something that makes sense for your channel. So there's so many different things you can test out, but then it's really just that iteration. So you might have that format, the 3 years lesson one, and you just put in different things. So you might try Playboy or social skills or traveling, solo traveling. I don't fucking know. Whatever works for your thing. That's how you need to try many different spin-offs, and you see what works. And then when you get something that works, you try and make slight iterations of it. You take the components of it that you think did well, apply it to your other videos, and it's this constant iterative process to try and get something that's going to click. And eventually you will get things that click. For me, I have 2 videos that clicked. They hit over 100K. Those blew up my channel. That's where really it doubled the size of my channel, just those 2 videos. So what you're doing, all the work that you're doing is really to try and get those viral videos, because those do the most. The rest are great for nurturing. They're great for touching base with your audience. But a lot of the money that I made, a lot of the growth my channel has had, it came from just the viral videos. And then all the other videos just kind of serve to help guide you to making those viral videos. And that's kind of how you need to treat YouTube. And once again, if you want to really treat it like a business, you need to have this strategy board. It really organizes, systemizes everything for you, helps you with every single aspect we discussed today. And that's completely for free. It's the first link in the description below.